Hello, ghouls, guys, gals, and any other life forms that may be streaming this broadcast. You are now listening to Storming the Unknown with Ashley Storm, where we have hauntings, UFOs and extraterrestrials, cryptids, serial killers, and dark history, all under one freaky little roof. A gathering place for the morbid curiosity to come and play and learn about the deepest, darkest parts of everything weird. Feast on this smorgasbord of everything supernatural and brace yourselves as we go storming the unknown. What's up, motherfuckers? Happy Monday. I hope everyone is joining us today with all of their appendages in one place. I know that we had quite a few incidents just in my neighborhood, my apartment complex this weekend with fireworks and whatnot. So I do hope everyone has all their digits today when they join us and had a wonderful weekend with their family and friends and whatnot. But today we're going to kind of flip the script, and it's going to be way different because Michael over here is going to be interviewing me about the Broken Bow Asylum because he apparently has questions that he needs answered. So I'm going to oblige. And then at 8 o'clock, we are going to have a bunch of other parapeeps come on and join us for a little bit of a round table. It's going to be super weird, super awesome, as always. And let me just get these comments on the screen and then you can start. So because you're interviewing me, you take the reins. Like I'm chilling in the back seat. I get to do nothing tonight. I mean, I'll do the broadcast stuff, but
hey, you earned it.
You take it away. I appreciate the break. I really do. I truly, truly do.
So, a question I get asked a lot is, what made you decide to put a haunted house in the South Wing?
Okay, that wasn't my decision. So that has nothing to do with me. When I found that place, actually, it was when it was a haunted house. It was called the RAC Asylum, and they named it the asylum for the theme of the haunted house. But it was just an old nursing home that 3 guys were like, hey, this is really good building space, and we could use the way that these rooms are mapped, and kind of, you've seen how much of a maze you can actually create with those rooms and stuff. They thought it was the perfect place, so they did. But little did they know, like, they'd always heard the stories. All 3 of these men had all heard the stories, and they didn't realize, like, they were putting a haunted house inside of an actually haunted location. And 2 of the gentlemen actually will not go back in the building, like won't go in there unless someone else is in there with them, type of thing. One of them will not go past the threshold, but it was just because it was good space, and they were like, we don't have a haunted house in this area. You've been out there, you know that there's nothing real, like there's no big cities around. So I had nothing to do with that. If I'm trying to get rid of all of it, because because I'm not going to really be running it as a haunted house anymore. That's what they used it for. When I bought it, that's where we're kind of repurposing, and I'm not going to getting rid of all of that. I love the feel of it back there, but like the props and stuff, like the dolls and things like that, those are going off as part of like the restoration projects, like the things that I'm selling from the asylum. Those dolls are part of it because you know how I am around them. I don't.
Yeah, they're creepy. I'm not gonna lie.
They can go. I'm good.
Especially that one on the swing. I will not argue.
She's not going.
Oh, she's not.
Well, because we don't know. I told you the story about how we got her. She was bought for the haunted house. A girl got her from a flea market in Arkansas and was like, hey, this would go like in the haunted house. Let's put her in that swing. They got everything together for her. Like that swing and everything was there just for her. And you've seen what happens around it. Like just that doll is, there's something attached to that doll. And I don't want to get rid of her if what's attached to her is supposed to be in that asylum. You know what I'm saying? Like if it belongs there, I don't want to give her away from her home and then her be like, well, why'd you make me leave? And plus, I'm not messing with her, period. Like, if she wants to stay, she could stay. I'm pretty sure if she wanted to leave, she could get up and walk up and leave. I'm pretty sure this doll could do that if she wanted to. So,
and probably whatever's in her, you probably don't want to unleash on the world either. So it's probably a good idea to keep her there.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is, I don't think that it's necessarily like, I don't feel like anything there is evil. Mean? Hell yeah. like
Yeah,
aggressive, of ridiculously aggressive sometimes, but
but not
nothing
evil.
evil. No, not evil. But that's a trick and a half with that doll.
A little dark, but not evil.
Because I told you guys about the 666 thing with her too. Like, and something in there likes to do that, likes to mimic it, likes to try and make you think, hey, I'm evil, but it's really not. So it's a crapshoot because when a doll starts reading that you've been investigating around for 3 days and hasn't gone off once, and then all of a sudden starts going at 666 for 5 minutes straight, like on a live stream, nonetheless. I mean, that's kind of okay, the dolls. Even though I know it's not demonic, it's still the doll doing it, so I'm good.
So, what's the story with the spider?
Which one?
The animatronic.
No, which story? There are so many stories with that spider.
Well, one thing I will admit, when we were investigating it, we were noticing the plate to trigger it, the wire's cut.
Yeah,
There's no power to it. So, what is actually causing that to go off?
I have no idea because it's been doing it since last year. And that's not the only thing that goes off in there. I told you guys about the girl in the swing, but that spider in particular. So, like you said, the wires are cut, and it's you have to step on that pad, and that pad is back kind of more towards where the spider is, and it's
Yeah,
there where a worker would be. It's not in the path of where we walk. And so when we're walking in the middle of that haunted house, this big ass animatronic spider just lunges forward at you. And we've had cops sweeping the building, and on 3 different occasions, had people, the police officers, draw their weapon on the spider, like, and scream. Like, I hear them audibly scream, ah! You hear the lunge, and then you hear the scream, and you hear the whole thing going on. And Officer Sterling, the last time came out, was like, "I almost shot that motherfucker right in his face. If he does it again, I'm shooting it. Like, I'm sorry, but you're gonna lose money because I'm shooting it." Because it does it to him every time. It's so funny because it depends on who you are, and I've noticed the repeat
yeah,
people, they kind of like show off for you, where they're like, okay, hey, you're my friend, or you remember, you've been there multiple times, so you
yeah.
see how they remember you, they remember how you react to things and stuff like that too. I definitely feel like that happens a lot. They know that
See
they
it.
got you last time with something, so they'll keep doing it to try and
Yeah.
get you again.
And the interesting thing is last time I was there, the first time, the spider never went off. I don't even think I actually even got to that part because I didn't find the hallway.
Uh-huh.
But I was walking past it this time, and I was like, I'm looking at it. I was like, oh, there's that spider. It's gonna go off. And I'd walk past it, nothing. We'd be talking, nothing. And then somebody behind me would walk by it, and it went off twice,
Yep.
back to back. And the music it plays really adds to the creep factor.
Yeah, it's, well, because it is, it's a haunted house, it's supposed to scare you, but when you're in the middle of an investigation, you know what I'm saying? There's the jump scares. There's the scares from what you're experiencing with the ghosts, and then there's the ghosts using the things in the haunted house to fuck
Right.
with you even more while you're doing it. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, we
Like
were trying to
the
figure out
the
if it's,
swing. That girl
yeah,
on the swing. I told you guys about her, and you saw it. Like, it was just like how I had left it. Like, we never touched it. They came back and saw that she wasn't plugged in. There's absolutely no reason why this little demon bitch should be going, we're gonna play and then I'm gonna kill you. She swings and there's no power going to her. And I'm talking about how sometimes they like to use these things to scare people. And she just goes off, and I'm like, you mother. You've seen how uncomfortable I get around her. Like,
oh
that's the
yeah,
room we stay the least time in. I'm like, and here's the swing doll. Let's go.
yeah. With the spider too, we tried to debunk it by saying it's audible. Certain sound triggers it or movement, but
Mhm.
there is really no rhyme or reason. And everyone's like, there must be a battery in it. But then we were like, if the battery was put in October, it would be definitely dead by now with the raccoons and everything
Oh, yeah.
going through.
But it's also though you see the wires cut, the wire to the actual trigger pad. The only thing that can make this thing go off is cut. It
Right.
has no, and you can't put batteries in that, just so you know. Because I, that's what I thought too. And I asked Andrew, and he said no, and he showed me. Because I refused to go near it because there were actual spiders like making a little nest underneath it at the time, and I was like, mm. So he showed
Yeah,
me,
that don't sound even creepier.
yeah, that it doesn't have batteries, and it's just yeah, it did it all by itself, and it
It
does it
doesn't have
continuously.
batteries, but it's giving birth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty gross.
The question I have for you is what made you decide when you were there that you wanted to own the asylum?
I feel like why not? Like what?
No, I mean, what drew you to it? That you like walked
No,
in and
I
was like,
know,
"This is
but
the spot
I
I
just
want."
the amount of, and I think it's some part of it might have been because I was pregnant at the time when I first experienced it. So of course my emotions were just so much more heightened than they normally are. But the the relationship that I was able to build in just a few days with so many different spirits in one place, like you just something about that place is just I can't explain it because it's worse than the Bonnie and Clyde Ambush Museum. Like I am obsessed with the Bonnie and Clyde Ambush Museum. Like I cannot stay away from that place. But the asylum is even worse. Like when I'm going home, and I know this sounds crazy. Like people will be in the car, like Angela, my teammate, when we're going back. I'm like, "Bye, I miss you already." Or I'll be like on the way home. I'm like, "I miss you so much," and she knows that like, I'm talking about a building. Like not necessarily a building, but the people inside of it. That relationship just got so intense, and I felt a duty almost to make sure that they had a better forever home because the way it was before I took over, I mean, it was a haunted house. They were bringing people in to be scared. They were bringing that energy in there. But these are people that had no one in life, had no one in death. I wanted to bring a better energy and more visitors, give them something to look forward to because they were all kind of, I don't even know how to describe it. They really did change. They've changed over the years. That place has, in itself, has changed over the years. They've grown. They've become more loving. It sounds crazy. I hate even talking
No,
about it because it sounds crazy, but it's
it doesn't because I think it has to do with your number one rule, which your golden rule. I love it to death, and I tell people, I like we gotta start using this in the paranormal field is by asking something of them and saying please and thank
thank
you.
you
It's like it's
always.
such a simple thing, but it's like, and it sounds so funny because like we were investigating, and I was with Tony, and she was talking about a spirit interacting with her. And I was like, "Hey, can you do that again, please and thank you?" And it's like we're laughing because it sounds like we're
We're
asking it
with
politely.
kindergartners.
Yeah,
Yes, it sounds like we're talking to children, even though like we're be interacting with adult spirits. But manners go a long way. It's crazy, but you know what I'm saying? Like just a
yeah.
simple please and thank you. And it's kind of funny because I don't know if anybody knows that show Backyardigans. My
Oh
little
yeah.
brother used to watch it religiously when he was little. And there's a song, and I heard it when I was like 12, 13 years old, but it it hit me really hard, and it's called Please and Thank You. That's the secret of the Nile. Like you don't get anywhere without saying please and thank you. Like manners always come first. Like always
Right.
be courteous and aware and always say please and thank you. And I got called out. I've told you guys about that when I got called out in the asylum. The one time I did not say please and thank you, we got on three different spirit boxes, like different types of spirit boxes, like at the same exact time. And then an EVP we had caught of it that we found later that same time, where a little girl chimes in and goes, manners, like mind your manners, because I didn't say
Yeah.
please and thank you. And so right after I said please and thank you, what I asked for them to touch the other kid that was with us happened like that. And then everybody, it's a running joke now with that group because I still have a lot of the people from that original group that come up there. And so it's a running joke that when I don't say play, they're like, manners, which I always do. So it's very hard to catch me. But if
Yeah,
somebody else says it, that's a running joke with them too. Now everybody has to be on their P's and Q's.
yeah.
Manners.
Tony and I were laughing at one point during the night because Nick was touching her somewhere. I go, so Nick, can you touch Tony, please and thank you? And I'm like, wait, that didn't sound right.
Well, it worked though, right?
Yeah,
So I mean, it always we've talked about that though. Sometimes the things that we ask, or like the ways that we ask them, I'm a big person with phrasing when we're in investigations, like the cat balls thing, especially the.
okay.
You remember the? Are you gonna play with the balls? Do you want to play with the balls right now? Okay, go ahead and grab the balls. Like, and everybody's sitting there with a straight ass face, but I'm sitting there like. What you talking about balls? And we actually at one point got like a laugh on an EVP while we were in a session, and a gentleman that was in our group actually was asking about them playing with the balls, and we got a male going like a male chuckle because he thought it was fucking hilarious that we were talking about balls. It's just
That probably so they're going. He's probably looking and going. Every one of them wants to bust out laughing, but they're trying so hard to be professional and keep the straight face.
especially because we're in recording sessions, like we can't break the silence. Like the whole point of what we're doing is trying to communicate, so we have to be absolutely still and quiet. And in those moments, I'm and me with my snorting, so I sit there like this, and I completely like compress my face, that way nothing comes, it doesn't affect what we're doing in any way or shape or form. I've never ever contaminated an EVP session with my snorting, and I'm proud of that. Super proud of that. At least none of my EVPs.
Yeah. So my next question, I hope doesn't get you in trouble with the asylum, but which one's your favorite spirit and why?
I know this is gonna sound effing crazy, especially when you've experienced him and know who he is, like in his story and stuff. But Nick, and I don't know why. I think it was because part of me thinks it was because of how intense he was in our first few days together. But another part of me is I'm a healer, like to a fault. Like I like not necessarily. I don't like. It's not fixing people. I like being able to help them, and if I have the means to help you, I'm going to do it. And I'm glad I stuck it out. And I think I appreciate him so much more because of how far we've come in our relationship the past few years. Like when I first started going in there, it was not a it was not nice, y'all. But you guys can go back and watch all of it. Like there's 4 days of live investigations in this place, and Nick just coming at me with everything he's got, trying to get me to leave and leave him alone, and not leave, but like scare me out of there. He never says leave. He never like directly tells me to get out, but he tests me basically. And when it came down to it, I didn't. And we have a pretty fun relationship now. I feel like he's protective of me now.
I think he's protective of the building.
Yes, very much so. But you can definitely tell when I'm not necessarily happy with a certain person that's there, or something like things kind of happen to those people a little bit more. And then I have to pull back and remember, like, he can feel how I feel with these people. And I really feel like when so many people, certain people get things like thrown at them more, or get pushed, or get that rush of air, and like somebody's coming up behind you all the time, like that. The people who leave early are the
Yeah.
ones that, and so I've been more
I,
careful about that. I've definitely been more careful about that.
I'm glad because after that bone experience, I'm definitely staying on your good side. That thing was thrown hard.
That was fucking crazy. I think to date that has to be the biggest thing that was ever thrown in there.
And it came
Was
out
that
of
though?
nowhere. It wasn't in the room to start with.
No, at, at all.
So
It
it had to go get it and then
and
come
then come
back
into
and
the room
throw
with
it.
it and throw it. That's I told you guys that happens all the time though. Like we'll be walking and just pass a doorway, right? Go in there real quick to go grab equipment that we left back in there doing a session and come right back out. And there's like those little orange tea light candles that we have for the haunted house.
Yeah, that like to fall on you from the attic.
Yeah, that used to be like in the main wing are now randomly in the north wing set up on one of the door frames and on. And we just like 5 seconds before that had walked past that area and nothing was there. It's it's crazy intelligent. Have you ever experienced a place like that that's like just so many moving parts at once? There,
It's hard to focus. Yeah.
yeah, so many moving parts.
So I was gonna ask what your plans were for like the asylum because I know you got that new deal going on where you're trying to raise money to help with the North Wing. If you want to talk
Yes.
about it,
So you've seen it. Our north wing is absolutely destroyed. Like the roof is completely caved in. The inside of the roof, the actual roof on the outside is holes everywhere. It's had so much flood damage over the years. Because the last time I was running was in the early '90s. I mean, it's been abandoned since then. Um, when they opened the haunted house, they only rented out that south side and the main wing, so they never touched that north side when they did all the renovations for the haunted house because comparably they're much different. Like the south wing
right?
isn't in the greatest of shape, but it's nowhere near as bad as the north wing is. Um, we have like no doors on any of the rooms anymore, and most of all of the windows actually on the north wing are broken out. We've had so many break-ins. I can't start replacing this stuff, and I can't get our security cameras in. I can't build this place up the way that I want to until I get that north wing secured. Because as long as that's just wide open, anybody can get up into the attic and then go over to the north and south wing. So there's no point of putting
Securing the
all of
South
this.
Wing,
Yeah, because the plans that like you said, the plans that I have for it, I've showed you guys the rooms where I want everything set up. One room that's going to be an actual like base station. It's going to be like the home station, and then we're going to have areas where we have the TVs to where you're not having to bring your own monitors and set them up. Then we're going to have DVRs and recorders in every room. Like we have all of this stuff to put in there, but can't put it in there because it's just going to get stolen. Like this is thousands of
right?
dollars worth of equipment that we have to help you guys as investigators, and we can't put that in there until we get this north wing redone. And I think a lot of people actually miss out so much because depending on whether or not it's rained that week, most of the times people don't even go into the north wing because the conditions in there are so bad. There's mud everywhere on the floor. It's just really wet and smells horrible in there. It
Right.
really does. Like it smells bad. But it's the most active wing to me. Like that is the most concentrated place of energy, and so I feel like a lot of people miss out on experiencing that place as a
And
whole because they miss that wing. And then we need running bathrooms. Like you've seen it firsthand. We either use the bushes or we drive across the street to the bathroom at the gas station. There's no other options. We don't have
right.
running bathrooms. The bathrooms haven't been running since the early '90s. And then we need the electricity fixed in the main wing. Now, the south wing is cool beans so far that we've checked. The north wing, I'm not really worried about getting electricity running in there because as long as it's in the main wing, where base rooms are should be fine. But we've had raccoons that have made the asylum their home for the past year and
Right.
a half, and ooh, yeah, they did some pretty hefty damage. Um,
Yeah.
but we also want to make sure that we're getting the resting rooms redone. We're getting a new roof in the resting rooms, so we're going to use all of those old hospital beds that you see everywhere as the actual beds that you guys can sleep in when you stay there.
Oh, that'll be
Yes.
fun.
Yeah. And then like I have a coffee maker, like I have a whole big ass coffee station thing and like a mini fridge and those camping stoves for cooking and all that stuff for like a mini kitchen so people don't have to go out to eat. They don't have to spend money on hotels. You get everything in the location. But I can't start doing that for you guys until
Until
we
we
get
get the
everything
North Wing.
repaired. Yeah, and that costs a lot of money. Like we don't get any help from the state. Um and I mean it's just been a shit year, 2 years for everyone. I think
Yeah.
that, these places are just kind of falling by the wayside, and It's driving me nuts because I can't tell you how many emails I get about, oh, I have so many followers on YouTube, so if you let me come and investigate there, I can help you get people. But they want me to let them do it for free, but they're not willing to pay to keep these businesses open. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
if every single person wants to investigate for free, how do you expect me to keep this place running? Like, I can't just let everyone come in
Well, not
and
only running it, but maintaining it so that
yes.
it stays around.
Well, that's the thing. It's so old already. People don't really realize it because from the outside, you wouldn't really think it's not necessarily a unique type of architecture to the 1950s. That could also have been a house or a building that was built in like the 70s or 80s. People kind of are, well, they're really hit and miss on that point of it's over 50, 70 years old now. It's
Yeah.
almost 80 years old, uh, and it's not going to be in the greatest of shape, especially when it was abandoned for almost 20 years
Right.
because nobody was in it until 4 years ago. Was the first year that they did the haunted house, and it had been
Yeah.
abandoned since the early 90s.
It's interesting that you say the North Wing is the more active because when I'm there and when I talk with others, everyone feels like the energy is more active at the South Wing, especially with that nurses station.
Hmm.
And the North Wing kind of feels more like the residential where they lived, and it's like you feel like you're invading their home kind of energy.
Well, that's why I say the North is more active, though, because they're very, if you stay long enough, okay, if you stay long enough in that North Wing, they'll let you know exactly why they don't want you. Like, it's a different atmosphere
It
altogether.
is, which
The
is
heaviness, you can't breathe most of the time when you're in there. Um, it's a very it's just more intense. It's not necessarily more active. It's more intense, I should say.
right.
More
Yeah,
intense because
you
stuff definitely
definitely
does
know.
happen more on that south wing, but you feel it more in the north wing.
Yeah,
It might not like be making noises constantly. You're not hearing it and stuff, but you feel it there with you the whole time. Like there's never a point when you're in that north wing and you feel alone.
yeah. Now, what's interesting is talking about needing to raise money for the upkeep and everything. That
Yeah.
digital graveyard that you have in the north center wing. We were I was showing it to Chad, the head of Ghost Geeks,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Man, if you had some of these monitors that were working, you could probably get some good money for some of those."
Uh,
But I don't know who put them
would
all in
work
that
on them.
pile.
Yeah. Well, it's also like how many homeless people have sat there and used the bathroom on them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Well,
who
I
knows
wouldn't
what the
sell that
fuck?
part.
Put that on the tag when they buy it.
Be like, buyer beware. You're buying it as is. It could have been a bathroom or not. We don't know.
These yellow stains are just an accenting coloration.
Well, one has a sticker on it. Everybody loves to point out.
Um, I like, I can't for the life of me understand why, because you've seen what's left in there.
Right.
That's a lot of money's worth of stuff between the church leaving and the building equipment. All of that, even just the drywall that's there alone, like that's thousands of dollars worth of drywall.
Yeah.
Um, the nurse's station,
And
how
the tools.
how perfectly intact it is. Um, all the computers in the computer room, all those shoes from the nursery, the baby shoes that we find randomly in places. Um, and the hair dryers, from the nursing home, those old hair
Right.
drying chairs, the bed. I mean, you see all of this stuff that was just abandoned. It's it's weird because they could have made so much money taking that stuff and
With
selling
them.
it off when they left, but they refused to take any of these things out of that building because of the energy. And that's the craziest thing to me that they were willing, each business, not just one, not just two. Three different types of businesses were willing to lose everything they put into this venture, to their business, and just left it because it was easier or safer than taking anything out of there.
It just makes you wonder what was going on there at that time to really make you sit there and go, I can lose that 10 grand in equipment in a heartbeat. Let's just go.
Right. As long as I'm not possessed, it's fine. My favorite is the liquor store next to the new church, though. That is the icing on the cake of that place. Because for you to leave all your stuff and be like, this place is unholy, we're gonna move not even half a block down instead and build right next to the liquor store. Because
Yeah,
that's better than being in this building.
no kidding.
Oh, what's this shit? uh,
So, with you taking down the haunted house and leaving some of it up, what's your vision for the South Wing?
I want to make it more like it was when it was a trauma center. Like redo it as a trauma center. Put those beds back in there for people to sleep in different rooms and wings. Um, Make it to where we have like all the old medical equipment that we have down in that basement area. Take all of that back out and redo it with all of the medical equipment and make kind of incorporate all of the things that it was while it was alive and running, um, and incorporate all three wings as that. So the north wing, I'll still keep as like the alternative school. We'll set up desks. We'll keep that science table, that big science experiment table
Right.
that they have in there from the classrooms. Keep that in there, set up chairs, kind of like a classroom. And then we'll keep the main wing as a nursing home. We'll keep all of the nursing home objects in there. And then the south wing will become the trauma center, and so it'll be all three things running again at once.
I like how you call that the lab table for school because to me it looks more like a mad scientist ran amok in there.
Well, I mean, a lab. They use laboratories. You have to use a laboratory if you're a mad scientist.
I know. So, with that, what was your favorite experience that made a believer out of you in the paranormal? Doesn't have to be at the Broken Bow.
Um, uh, now let's see. Um, because of just how I've kind of lived my whole life, I would say I've always been a believer. Like there was never a time where I didn't believe. I've been a believer since I was very, very little. Since I can remember, I've never not believed. I've never been like, oh, that's fake or what I'm seeing isn't real. I know it's real. I
That's cool.
it's
I like how
awesome.
you whisper that.
Well, because if I say it too loud, the government's gonna come get me. We've been talking about cults for like 3 straight weeks, back and forth on my show and spooky or chicks and spirits. So I'm trying to watch what I say because I know I'm on a watch list right now.
Join the club.
I told my husband, I was like, if the FBI comes knocking down our door, I'm sorry. He goes, what have you been researching now? And the fact that he threw in the now was like the best part to me because it's like, yeah, I know. I I go down weird rabbit holes a lot.
Yeah, but that's where all the fun is.
Thank you. That's what I told him. I was like, well, normal stuff is boring. I want to know about I want to know
I,
about this shit.
I know a rabbit hole you ought to go down that you could probably do a at least a month's worth of podcast shows on
What?
the Alaska Triangle.
Actually, I've had somebody on to talk about that. Cheryl Carter actually wrote a book about them, and next what is it? June, July, August, September, my birthday month. So in like 3 months, I have nothing but ufologists and people from MUFON coming on because UFOs are my favorite. Like I love ghosts and stuff, but I know they're
Yeah,
real. Like I've encountered them. I've seen one UFO, but I'm like obsessed with everything else there is to know, like behind all of it. So my whole birthday month I've dedicated. to ufologists so I can talk about UFOs the whole month for my birthday. And we're actually going to talk about the Alaska Triangle in 3 of those segments. People who've actually researched there. It's going to
Yeah,
be awesome. That place is so freaking awesome. Oh my
it
god.
is.
Now I want to go to the Alaska Triangle.
There's a Stargate there.
There has to be. Okay. Now, have you ever watched Pacific Rim?
Yes, I have.
All right. So, I'm telling you, kaijus, or, okay, a version of kaijus could totally exist. We have no idea what's in 80% of our ocean. Okay. And
Or
you're
on
gonna
land.
tell, yeah, and you're gonna tell me that they have not made like super deep alien bases underneath the water so they have both aerial and aquatic means? Like, it just,
You should check out Catalina Island then, off
I don't know
California.
where the Catalina wine mixture goes down.
I'm not sure if it's the Catalina wine, but there is.
Have you never watched Step Brothers?
It's been a long time. I'll be
It's the
honest.
fucking Catalina wine mixer. What happens there though? I've never heard of that place being like.
Josh Gates actually sent his team Expedition X there, and the head of the government's UFO investigation retired and came out there to say, yeah, there's some serious UFO stuff that's going on here, and it's underwater and above water. Like, they actually caught on camera a light that came from the bottom from the ocean up and went straight up
Yeah,
to the
that okay.
sky.
That's not the first account of that. Now, this is why I've always thought that they were under the water too, because there are so many different types of military accounts, especially naval and air force,
Yeah.
where they encounter a weaponized UFO either starting in the air and shooting like laser type beam things at them, or turning missiles around and actually like redirecting projectiles launched at these UFOs and then diving into the water and disappearing. And then also you have the same subsets of them jetting out of the water, like you said, massive glowing, like just an enormous, vast light, huge, and then just boop and disappears up in the, like there's
Yeah.
no way they're not in the, there's no way they're not in the ocean too. And then my husband was like, "Well, why would you tell me that? Because now I'm even more afraid of swimming." Well, be aware of your surroundings, you know?
You
Just
know, what I would say to your husband on that comment is go, have you seen the Jaws movies?
well, that's why he won't. Okay, so he only goes where he can see down. Like he won't go into any type of water that does not have complete perfect clarity and visibility. And he also only goes out to like his chest. He will not go out any farther than that. I've I think he's been in like the ocean maybe twice in his whole life. I cannot get that man out in open water for shit.
I'm feeling like a mission coming on. Man, so many deprived moments.
No, he
Like,
hates the water. Because of things that'll eat you. He's like, I'm smart enough to know that that's their home. The land is my home. I'm gonna stay here. They can stay there. Like he's he's also that way about like ghosts. Like he's he's a very rational person. He's like, I know they're real. That's why I don't fuck with them. Like I'm not gonna ever go with you anywhere to any of these haunted places. You know why? Because I know they're real. You know what I don't want to hear is a ghost. You know what I don't want to feel is a ghost touching me. Like why would you do that? He's a very scary person. He's a scaredy cat, and I love it. We're very
uh,
polar opposites in that respect. He won't do anything, and I'll do anything.
I wonder how he leaves the house because we are not the apex predators on land.
He doesn't. He's a gamer. He stays inside unless he has to work.
You know, we were discussing that there was a TV show or it was a movie, I think back in the 80s, about people who were doing video games and then found out that the video games they had to end up fighting each other off to be the last one standing.
What was it?
And
Player One? Ready Player One?
I don't know if it was Ready Player One. We were talking about it being a horror movie, and
The
I was
one with
like, I
Frankie
don't
Muniz?
maybe.
Yeah, it's the one with Frankie Muniz. I know which one you're talking about. Oh my god, what was the name of it? Hold on, I'm googling it because it's gonna kill me if I don't know it now.
But yeah, it's like you should play that for him one night. Then when you want him to stop video gaming, put that up.
Um, have you ever played Dead Space?
I have not actually.
Okay, it's called Stay Alive. The movie you're talking about is Stay Alive.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a great movie. But so Dead Space is supposed to be like one of the most horrifying video games, okay? And it does like it makes you jump, makes you scream, like even me, and I'll play it and be like, "Ah!" and freak out because it's so intense. Watching my husband play it is the funniest thing, and that's the closest thing he'll get to scary movies. But he'll only play it 10 minutes at a time. He's like, if I get my heart working that fast for too long, I might have a heart attack because it genuinely scares the living shit out of him. I've never heard a
Yeah.
grown man scream the way he screams when he plays that game. It's freaking amazing. I've tried to videotape it, but he's always caught me. Oh, 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 shit.
Oh, that's funny. The only time I ever got scared in a movie wasn't even a horror movie. It was the movie Perfect Storm,
Yes.
where the wave hits and all of a suddenly it's like there's the shark I think is right there, and you're like, oh my god, where did that come from?
Yeah, and then
Holy,
you realize it could happen literally anywhere you go. Like,
yeah.
if you're ever on a boat, at any moment, Mother Nature could just be like, you know what? I feel like kicking up a storm real quick and just smack you in the face and be done with you. Throwing
The
sharks at you and shit with waves. No, thank you. No, thank you
I
very
know, and
much.
it's like you're sitting there going, I totally should have been expecting that. And
I've
it's the
seen the
one thing that
movies.
freaks you jump out. And then you go and see stuff like Jurassic Park and all those where it's like there's a T Rex eating a guy in a bathroom and you're like, okay.
See, but I feel like if we keep messing with shit the way we're messing with shit, they're gonna end up bringing dinosaurs back one way or another, like maybe inadvertently or something like it, because they're gonna try and use that dinosaur DNA that
Yeah.
they got from the mosquitoes in the amber. Ah, ah.
I thought about that going, the herbivores I would not be upset with if they brought back, but why in God's name would you bring the carnivores back?
Cause you have to have the cycle of life, man. The circle of life, and it's for the dinosaurs too.
I was like, where in the mind though did it say, hey, let's bring out the apex big bad boys of the meat eating world and let's make a dozen of them and we'll make a lot of herbivores.
I think, I think more than anything, the only thing that pissed me off about the Jurassic Park movies was that the Velociraptors didn't look like actual Velociraptors
No,
at
they're
all.
feathery.
Yeah. Oh well, they. Okay, that's not true. They messed up a lot. Never mind. I'm not. I just remembered when we had that winter storm. My family, because we were staying at my
Snowmageddon.
mom's. Yeah, we were staying at my mom's house because we had like no electricity or anything for like weeks. And we were staying at my mom's house, and we had a a Jurassic Park marathon where we watched like all of them. Like every night, we'd watch a different one. And the whole time, me and my brother are huge nerds about dinosaurs. So the whole time, we're like, actually, it's not called a Diplodocus. It's called a like it's not actually called a pterodactyl. It's a pterosaur. A pterodactyl
Yeah,
is not actually a species of dinosaur. And we're like, it was actually in the Cretaceous area. These two would not be seen together in the same time frames. It's absurd to have them in the same holdings. So there's actually a lot of mistakes in those Jurassic Park
yeah.
movies, but they're still amazing to watch. They're my favorites. They're some of my favorites. I love Jurassic Park.
My
I've always wanted
favorite
a
Jurassic.
dinosaur.
Yeah, it's My favorite Jurassic Park moment with the was with the raptors where they're opening the doors and they're all looking shocked, going, "Oh my god, they figured out how to open a door." I'm like, it took the geniuses
Oh
of the Predator world and didn't think they'd figure out a door.
my god. Now, that scene is always going to be my favorite because you know that look that he shoots over at them and he goes, "They're learning." And
Yeah,
like just that moment of what the fuck. So the first time Oliver learned how to open a door was one of the handle doors, like how they were using. And he opened it and my husband looked over me just like how the guy did in the movie and he goes, "They're learning."
that's great.
Oh shit. That was amazing.
So here's a big question for you: Jurassic Park trilogy or the Jurassic World trilogy?
Jurassic Park. And yeah, and see, and everybody's like, what, why? Because Jurassic World went too crazy with the whole like premise of it. But they're good in different ways that like I feel like once I see the next one, I'll change my mind because
Yeah,
I want to see the dinosaurs living out amongst the people and just completely wrecking shit, being like, "This is our Earth now." So I feel like
yeah,
once I see that one, my answer will change. But to this point, Jurassic Park, because they were so different, like each one of them was a different storyline. When you had the second one where it was just
the
Jeff
second
Goldblum
island.
and yeah, and yeah, you focus on the different species and different interactions and different characters. Really,
Yeah.
it was just they're different. It's like
See,
Star Wars. It's like asking like which one did you like? It's like well, they all sucked in their own ways, but they're all still amazing. Like they're all still like freaking like I still watch all of them all of the time. Like
guilty.
yeah, and when I as I get older, I'm like, God, this sucks. When you get the new CGIs and you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like when you get the newer ones, but then the newer ones don't have the same type of like heart of the storylines the old ones do. So it's comparing potatoes and apples. They're not the fucking
yeah.
same. They all have their own different twist. And
Seeing,
especially when they're not directed by the same person, you can't sit there and
yeah,
be like they're not comparable in any sense when they're by different
no.
directors.
See, I'm kind of with you. I like the Jurassic Park more because it was more storyline driven,
Hmm.
and it was like the first one was okay, human meeting dinosaur. Okay, second one was so what did we learn from the dinos that we didn't know? It was kind of like we were learning how they actually would have lived, how they would
They
have
were doing what they should have
existed.
done instead of using them as show. They were like, okay, well, that's not true. That's not true because that was a false premise. Remember, they went there to sit there and study their habits,
Right,
but really they were just there to capture them so they could put them in the
right.
mainland and show them off.
But they
So
had free reign of the island. Was the
yeah,
deal is they could
kind
live
of
like they would on the island.
really, yeah, but only how they said so. And
Yeah.
the
And then the Jurassic Park 3, I always thought was just their way of saying, and this is how money and corporations are going to ruin this for everyone.
this is why we shouldn't let cruise ships next to random ass islands.
Yeah. But
Oh,
see,
you
but
know
then
it's
Jurassic World played with the emotions too much. It's like the first one was the amusement park aspect, and you're like, yeah, that'd be kind of cool. It'd be like going to SeaWorld.
yeah, until you start getting eaten by pterosaurs, like, oh, but
Well,
that was the whole
you can
thing,
get
though.
eaten by a
It's like, did
killer
you
whale.
not learn from the first fucking movie
Yeah,
that making an amusement park with people willy nilly around million-year-old creatures that have been grown in the lab and have absolutely no type of like structure or content, especially when you're making them, they're not even
yeah.
an actual breed. Like, what could you think was going to come out of this? And then in the first one, when the Indominus Rex comes up and they're like, well, we've done this, that, and the third, and I'm like, did you not learn anything from John
I
Hammond, you
know.
assholes? And then, of
I know.
course, BD Wong his character is always the guy who's like, for the where it's money now. It's
Yeah.
crazy to see that they've
You
kept
asked
him
for this.
continuously in it. Yeah, but that it went from a transitioning. Like he really
Yeah.
was just like not necessarily naive, but a very young and like hopeful doctor in the first one. He truly
Then
did
to
believe
his
that they were
God
making,
complex.
yeah, that they were making a difference. They were creating something that would be beautiful and like life changing in a good way. And then when he realized he could profit off of it and weaponize it, he was like, oh, we'll do this instead. But that deterioration of his character is
Yeah.
very interesting to see.
And then the second one, when the volcano erupts, it's like in the beginning, it was like, man, I was so sad for the dinos. I was like,
I
man,
cried. I still cry
yeah,
every time. So we were in the whatever. I don't fucking care if people laugh at me. I don't care if people know. So I am a grown ass woman when I watch this movie, like well after 25 at this point, or 25, something like that. Sitting in a movie theater with a bunch of other people, like just random folks I don't fucking know. And when that scene came, I bawled so loud. I'm pretty sure people couldn't actually hear the movie because I was crying so hard. I was like, they didn't deserve that
I know.
one. I
And the worst part is the corporation's like, we can let them go. We can just
go
make new ones. I'm like,
right.
really?
Fuck you. Like I'm tearing up now just thinking about it. Those poor, the look
Yeah,
in their eyes. It was so like intelligent. Like they knew that they were just. Oh, and I was like, it has to happen again. Like, haven't they been through
I
enough?
know.
Was it once
It's like,
enough? And then you guys brought them back just to do it to him again. That's what fucked me up. Because
I
as
know.
humans, we have a very, very bad habit of doing that to animals and creatures that
Yeah,
aren't, humans.
around anymore.
Yeah,
It's like,
it's just
but I
yeah.
will say though, I did like in the second movie they didn't do a close up of like a dino's face being all cheesy, like again look.
Yeah. Or that shoot you like the fuck is going on? Like, are we for real with this shit?
Yeah, we're like, again, really? You couldn't come up with another way to kill us off?
Scenes from the never ending story when the horse drowns. Oh yeah, that part's sad too.
Oh, that was.
See if D Nice gets her camera working. Ooh, nice.
All right, well, it's 8 o'clock, so I'm going to switch it back over to you, Ashley.
Trying to get Denise on here. She said her computer's acting funky. No.
Ain't tech fun.
Don't even get me started. It took me 2 hours to get it set up today because my internet browser, like, tell me why I pay for the internet I pay for it to like never work.
I know,
And it's
right?
hardwired. Like I have a hard line in, so it's not like a connectivity issue with Wi-Fi. And my browser just kept going, not responding, not responding, not responding. Like, what are we in 2000? What is this dial up?
Which
Like, can we
browser are
get?
you using?
I don't even know anymore because I just got this computer. I just
Is
got the
it,
a whole new setup. I think it's Microsoft something, but I need to download
oh, Edge?
Firefox or yeah or Chrome. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. I just got this computer.
You'd pretty much know that Microsoft Edge is Internet Explorer renamed.
It works like it. It acts like it's.
That's what I call it. I'm like, that's what it
That
seems
makes
like.
a
It's
lot of
like,
sense because it definitely functions.
and if you look at the history, Internet Explorer disappears, and what appears? Edge.
That's actually true, and it asks the same stupid questions that.
And let's be honest, what's the deal with Microsoft? They just slap a new number at the end of the word Windows.
Heisenberg, what's up,
What's up?
Triplet?
How's
I'm
it
waiting
going?
for D Nice to come on. She's having trouble with her computer right now.
Well, here I got my volume's way down, so if I disconnect, I'll be right back in.
Okie dokie, artichoke. I'm waiting for him to drop out because he always does it anyway. We'll lose him at least like 10 times during this segment, just so you know. It's kind of his thing.
It looks like he's deciding when's going to be the right time.
Yeah, I still stick to it that he does it on purpose most of the time. Like, he
He's
does it to
smiling.
prove he does it to prove a point. We don't call him devil's advocate for no reason.
I really don't. I
He
don't.
nice. Nice! Woohoo!
Wait
It's
for
a
it. There she
party.
is.
Oh, I didn't know she was gonna be on.
Yeah,
Um,
same.
I gotta, I gotta go.
Nobody told me Heisenberg was going to be here.
I did it as a trap. Fight. Do it. Okay, so now we're going to start the roundtable portion of this night. I have Miss Denise Smith down here from Cryptic Paranormal Show, whoop, whoop, and the Mad Crew. And then I got Heisenberg down there from the same shiz, and Dark Alley
There you go.
Paranormal,
Yep, you
the
got it.
Ohio chapter. What's up? Woo, woo. And then you guys know Mr. Michael Croft. He has been sitting here interviewing me for the last hour. Wonderful job, by the way, Michael. Thank you very much for giving
Thank
me a
you.
break. That was pretty nice.
You have a
I
whole
liked
lot of
it.
letters after your name. I
Yeah.
feel inadequate.
It's not letters. That's the noises he makes when he's on investigations.
Actually, that's all the ghost teams that I'm part of. Paranormal teams.
Nice.
Go ahead and spell those out for us then, because now I didn't even notice them before you said it. I've been on with him
So
for an hour.
GSH is Ghost Ship Hunters, and that is a global paranormal team, which we hunt ghost ships and other haunted locations. The next one is Sirens of the Expanses. I just started that with a friend up in, I think it's Minnesota or Michigan, one of those states off the Great Lakes. I forget which one she lives in because I met her in Florida. PP is for Potter Paranormal out of Mineral Wells. DSP is Dirty South Paranormal, which I investigate with. And DNPT is a brand new team I'm investigating Broken Bow in August with. And that is Dark Knight Paranormal Texas.
Nice.
So, you know,
Sorry,
I get
I'm trying to
around.
remember all of them real quick, so I don't have to ask ever again. GSHDNPTSOTE, and I'm sure by the end of the year we'll have like 5 more to add on to that. I love how involved you are with everyone, though. Like, there are so many people in this field that are like, no, my team and my team only, and I'm not gonna work with anyone else. Blah blah blah. Homeboy works with everyone, and it's awesome. Like you get to experience the same places, but with different teams. That's very interesting to see too. Like
Yeah.
how the dynamics of the different groups that you investigate with, how the energies in these places respond differently to each of your teams.
As of today, I have collaborated with 11 teams.
Nice.
You might like break a paranormal world record because most people in the paranormal don't like to work together.
That's
It's
true.
kind of their thing.
True.
Except for
I
us, we like
love
each other.
collaborating. I love learning with other teams.
I have been wanting to ask Denise this for a minute because she's finally gotten some more locations under her belt, and I have not been able to ask you about those. So tell me about your newest adventures, because you've been going on a lot lately, my lady.
I have. It's crazy because, COVID's supposed to shut everything down, but I think I've traveled more in the time since COVID than I ever have before. And I love it. I don't have a team, so I don't have to deal with, all of that stuff. And I just go wherever people will let me tag along. And it has been amazing. I've seen so many places, so many bucket list places have been checked off in the last year. I'm loving it.
Now, your experience at Hinsdale House, how was
Yeah.
that? Because we never got to talk about that in depth.
Oh.
And I'm curious as to what you experienced there, because the accounts that you hear from most people are very intense, to say the least.
Yeah, I would say that's accurate. I would say out of all of the places that I've been, Hinsdale is the one that, 10 minutes after we left, it was calling me back. Like, I have so many unanswered questions. I have, things that I need to figure out. Like, it was such an intense investigation, and we weren't even there for the whole night. And I have to go back. I'm going back next month, but it's not soon enough.
It's like, oh, now.
That's funny. She's
Right.
like, I have to go back. Well, I am going back.
Who are you going back
I
with?
have to. Next month, we're going with some friends of ours that we met at the seminary. They come in from Michigan, and they rented it and asked us if we'd like to go, me and Shelly and Chelsea. So We're
What?
going back.
You gonna get it with
Lucky.
Shell's bells?
Yeah.
Shelley. Love
I don't like
Shelley.
to go anywhere without Shelly. She's like my protection.
I just want to squeeze her. I want to squeeze her so fucking hard.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
don't even know why. It's just like, can I just squeeze you real quick? That's funny.
I love
She
her.
just messaged me.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, because we were talking earlier about Broken Bow stuff, but
Oh, nice.
her ears are itching.
Right.
She knew. What about you, Heisenberg? I've heard some of your stories about House of Wills, I believe it was, where you guys did the table
Yeah,
experiment thing. Can
yeah.
you tell us a little bit more about that? Because I only caught part of that conversation, and I'm very intrigued to hear about how
Yeah.
that actually
I'll
went.
tell you what I know because I didn't partake in the table
Yeah,
tipping.
because they said you needed to be serious, and you're you.
Oh, you know, you needed to be singing.
Oh, singing.
Oh,
It
that's a
was
new one.
something. I knew it was
And I was
something.
like,
You're supposed
no,
to do something.
no. But she let me stand right outside the room, so I got to witness it.
Okay, so what happened?
Yeah, they were singing some Motown and just going to town, and that table it was moving. I've never seen anything like that before.
The
Like,
experiment, though, what is it called again?
I don't know,
It's called table tipping.
table tipping, man.
Singing at the table.
Singing at the
One.
table, man.
We're gonna have to try that at the asylum next time you come up, Michael. That'd be pretty interesting.
But,
Yeah,
We
I've
have
never
to
done it
hire
before.
singers though.
Why? If you would have done it at Madison, I feel like if you did it at Madison, that'd be pretty interesting. I mean, you guys are already using shuffleboards to summon demons. Why not do some table?
Exactly. Why not use
That would
tables?
work. That would work.
I don't think I would. If I was a demon, I don't think I'd have the patience for shuffleboarding.
More of a ping pong type of thing.
Yeah.
I don't think you know the story behind that, but that's freaking hilarious. And I
Right.
feel like we should add that to the running line of jokes about that shit. 'Cause, oh my god.
But Ray got really affected by that table tipping thing. He said even on our show that even like that the positive energy or whatever. Once he was done, he had to go outside and like ground himself because he was feeling nauseous and.
Because it was so direct.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's why. Because I think my wife was doing it too, and she's a little bit. She doesn't get like that so much, but she was just like, "Oh, that was weird."
Yeah.
That's him.
I'd like to try it.
I feel
Maybe.
like
I don't want to sing,
just
so
let me.
I'll watch it.
If Shelly's there. I'll try it.
I was about to say only if Shelly's there, right? 'Cause you hear that, Shells? You gotta do table tipping with do noise. What's the next? You're going somewhere else soon, aren't you?
I am going to Middle Point School. Actually, Heisenberg's going too. We're doing an event on August 7th. Yeah.
He was like, "Oh yeah." Good thing you reminded him because come August 7th, he wouldn't have shown up. Remind him again in a week. That way we're safe.
Right. Yeah, we have an event August 7th there to raise money for Brian Felicia for his cancer treatments. So that'll be fun.
Do you know any of the background or the history of Middle Point of the school?
I don't think that the school itself has any history. We did have Austin Maynard on our show, and he's the one who runs the location. And luckily, his internet kept cutting out, so we didn't get to hear all of the stories because we probably would have canceled if we had heard all of them. But I think it's just the town of Middle Point is what draws in the haunting because, people go to the school to investigate. So I feel like the spirits are just drawn there. But the town itself is very small and has a pretty dark history as far as like weird murders and things like that.
I like it.
Yeah.
I'm excited because it's a new location and stuff, and it's helping somebody. But I've never been there. I never even heard of it actually until we started talking about all this stuff.
That's really close to you guys, right? I mean, that's not too far of a stretch.
3 hours.
It's in Ohio, right?
Yeah, it's in Ohio.
It's like all the way across Ohio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like too.
It's not like Texas, but it's long enough for us.
Yeah.
I like how she looked for the right word to go with that murder. She's like, weird murder.
Yeah. Very weird.
Because she couldn't say cool murder like she wanted to. Those very interesting murders that happened.
better than awesome. Those awesome murders.
Those
Those
super
awesome murders.
groovy murders that happened.
The best murders ever.
Right? It is a crazy story, though.
Oh
I'm
man, we're
expecting
gonna
to
totally get
know.
attacked now. They're like watching
Yeah.
this probably. So that, that's what they do.
I'm gonna look that up after we get off because now I'm curious as to what the hell is actually happening. Because you can't tell me murder without telling me like what kind of murders
Right?
now and like what.
See?
Like now I need to know what kind
That's
of
why
murders.
I'm glad that we missed part of the show when Austin was on, because some of the things he was telling us that like there's crawlers there and they crawl on the ceiling.
Oh,
And yeah, no. So,
Yeah.
and that's just the part we heard. So imagine all the stuff we didn't hear. Like,
Yeah. No. Why are you cheering for crawlers, Heisenberg?
Well, it's
Those are
kind of a fake
cool.
cheer because I'm going like, yeah, but then if I saw one, I'd be like, my ass would be out that door probably
That's what
quicker.
I'm
Right?
saying. You would be the first one to leave if you. I
Right?
know you would be like, no, fuck this, I'm out.
Yep.
You'd Scooby Doo run. I can imagine that plume of smoke behind you. You take off
You
so
know-
fast, you just leave a little trail behind you. I can
Yep.
see
I
it.
would
I'm not gonna
probably
lie about it.
run
I'm not gonna
too.
say that I just sit there and be like,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
No,
think-
I'd be like, shit and out.
Yeah, I think everybody would be running. That's,
Yeah. Ashley will tell you I don't run, but that probably would have my ass running.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I'll be there without Shelly, so I'm really screwed.
Yeah, that's
And she's
not-
doubly screwed because she'll be there with me.
Yes.
You better stay behind him or like at least like 2 feet away from him because if something comes at y'all, he's gonna throw you at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just letting you know. You just have to be faster than the slowest person, and he'll
Yeah,
make you the slowest person to survive.
Yeah. I'm gonna trip you on the way out, Heisenberg. Just watch out.
Oh shit.
I was going to say tether yourself to him. That way, when he's running, he'll bring you with.
That would actually be a smart move, Denise, because if I'm
Yeah.
running out, you
I'll
just
bring
hang
one of those
on and
retractable dog leashes and attach it to your belt or
There you
something.
I feel like he
You can
should
go
have
around the
one of
corner,
those
but
no
not too
matter where
far.
he goes.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
Oh my god, I can just imagine Goose's face though when you show up with the dog collar and the leash. Like, did I miss something here?
Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
That's fine.
We'll explain it later when you grow up.
Yeah,
Oh, God.
it's fine. It's fine.
We'll
We're
tell you
fine.
about it when you're older. My brother is 27 and he says that shit to my mom all the time. Like she'll
He says,
ask
I'll
us
tell you when you're
something,
older.
he'd be like, I'll tell you when you're older.
That's awesome.
It's amazing. I love their banter back and forth. It's the best.
That's funny.
Oh my gosh. So as I don't think, because I've never been anywhere up north. Have you ever been to any of the locations up north, Michael?
The farthest north I've been is Virginia.
Which is
Going-
still kind of technically considered the South, depending on
Yeah.
what you ask.
It was a Confederate state, so
Yeah, so it's South.
that would make it
Where in
south.
Virginia? How did you investigate?
it was well. We were under the impression we were doing the Ramsey School, and then we found out it wasn't the Ramsey School, but it was an abandoned school anyway. That sorry, I got distracted with Skinwalker Ranch.
No,
That is on my list. But it's a art studio being built into an abandoned school, and we had a disembodied voice of a girl calling our name in the school, and we were running to an auditorium where we heard it coming from, and there ain't a soul alive in there. And there was a spot on the floor that looked really weird. I could not get a digital photo of. Every
Wow.
time I went to take a digital photo of it, it'd come out blurry.
Wow.
maybe it was a baby Sasquatch.
Probably.
We're an alien.
That too.
Or dimensional.
Yeah.
And so, you with the face down there, this one, not that one. This one. It's like the Brady Bunch. This.
Yeah, which way are you pointing?
That way. I'm trying to go that way, but I just threw myself the fuck off. I was like, wait, the further this way I go, that way, down here. Freaking Heisenberg.
Hmm.
What's the most scared you've ever been on an investigation?
Huh.
Wait, are you meaning that he'll admit to?
No, he'll admit to all of them. He's very honest about if it freaks him out. Like, he hates black-eyed kids, like the one right behind you.
Damn it, Ashley, we said to start doing that.
Okay, I ain't gonna lie. A black-eyed kid would freak me out too.
Gosh, I think the scariest might have been at Madison. When it wasn't really, it was scary, but it wasn't scary. I don't know if that makes sense.
Was
Like
it when
we were
Goose
up-
got affected?
Hmm?
Was it that night Goose got affected?
No, because I've been there a couple of times. He's been affected. I've been there one time, and I sent him downstairs with my wife. I was like, "Hey, can you take him downstairs? I want to stay up here."
He's a very supportive friend.
Yeah.
Sacrificial lamb.
Yeah.
So, we were all in the up on the fourth floor in the hallway, and Ray and this other guy started walking through, and the door started shutting, and I was like, "Oh shit!" And I was excited, but then there was this weird feeling that I felt like somebody rubbed a balloon on my head,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like sticking up. That is like, it's not mainly the scariest, but mainly the most physical one
Yeah.
Right.
that I've ever had. Like I've been touched a few times, but nothing like that. Like I felt like somebody rubbed a balloon on top of my head. I thought my hair was sticking straight up.
Like you could feel the static.
Yeah, like it felt. Yeah, it felt just like somebody just did that.
Have you ever had that happen to you at Madison, Denise?
No, I have not.
What's the most intense experience you've had there? Because you're there a lot.
I am.
You're there a lot.
I feel like it may not sound intense, but the thing that really bothered me the most was when we were up in the surgeon's room. If you say doctor, he'll correct you and say surgeon, so we just call it the surgeon's room. But we had a FASA box going, and it said like nice hair, and I'm like, well, that's weird thing to say, and it was all girls in the room. And a minute later it said pretty eyes. And at this point I'm getting like annoyed, like, okay, what is this guy trying to do,
Yeah.
And all
Get
of a sudden, right, all of a
I know
sudden
you
I
ain't
had
ghost flirting.
this image in my head, which was not my thoughts, of this guy in a doctor's coat, and he was leaning down and he was playing with this girl's hair, and she was like in a wheelchair, alive, but just unconscious basically. And he's playing with her hair. And in my head, I hear, it's okay what I do to them because I tell them that they're pretty and no one else tells them that they're pretty. And I was instantly like beyond furious.
Enraged.
Like at the F word, every other word out of my mouth. Like I wanted to fight somebody who's not even alive. Like it was the first time that something had been shown to me in my head. And when you don't control your own thoughts, that's a very scary thing to
Absolutely.
get
You feel
used to.
violated in a second.
Yes.
Because you're already
Yes.
expecting
It's like
that
that's-
violation from him.
Yes.
Then you're being violated in 3 different ways at that point. You're feeling
Right.
the violation for them. He's also trying to violate you by giving you those thoughts, but also by talking to you the way he talked to his
Right.
victims.
Right.
It's crazy.
And it was, I've had other things happen since then where I've like been shown an image or like a little mini movie clip or whatever, but that was the first time. And so it was the scariest, but also it was like the most disturbing, like it's not okay what you did to them, and putting those thoughts in my head is not going to manipulate me. So I'm like, oh, you know what, guys, it's okay. He said they're pretty. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Right.
Felt good.
It's fine. He told me it's fine. Like it was just a very scary thing. I don't know how psychics do it all day, every day, and have
That place, I don't understand how you guys can go in there as much as you do without it because I've never even been there, and I get shit from that place. Like,
Right.
you've seen it personally.
Yes.
I will sit there, and when that thing was happening, when I first started connecting with her, I would
Hmm.
see if Kimmel was there. Like, they would let me know when Kimmel got there, or they'd
Right.
let me know when Addie got, like, let me know who they wanted to see that day. Like, hey, can you say, and told me where things were, like, showed me how it used to look when they were alive, and like pull the pictures up and show you guys, and you tell me, like,
Yeah.
it's crazy because I couldn't imagine if they're doing it that intensely from this fucking far
Yeah.
away. I
From
couldn't
across the
imagine.
country.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine being there in person with them. I mean,
Yeah.
I am excited, and I'm like, I can't wait to, but at the same time, I'm very wary about that place because that was strong. I
Yeah.
never sat there and had that happen when I'm not trying. You know what I'm saying? I was
Right.
not trying. I was washing dishes the first time it happened and been like, hold up real quick.
Yeah. Uh,
I know
and
this
Like,
sounds weird,
wasn't there a
but
plate in his hand?
it was
yeah.
weird.
I mean, she texted me and she's like, "Hey, weird question. Is
Mhm.
Adam at the building right now?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she tells me where she's picturing him. And so I text him and I'm like, "Hey, where are you at? Like, literally right this second, where are you at?" And he was exactly where she pictured him to be.
Yeah.
And the woman was telling Ashley, like, "Oh, Adam's here. I'm so excited."
It
It's
was funky and creepy, but also awesome.
right.
Because
I'm telling
she was
you, she's
also
the
told me like
whisperer.
where things were buried and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it got weird.
Yeah.
You
Weirder
can
than
totally
normal.
be what was it? Jennifer Love Hewitt's character.
Oh,
Medium?
No, that was Patricia Arquette.
I can't
Ghost
tell.
oh,
Ghost
man.
Whisperer.
Whisperer.
No, but
Yeah, I'm very interested to see what happens when you come to Madison
I want
because,
to finally experience her in person and see
yeah,
if being in person helps me pinpoint more where she was trying to get me to get you guys to go.
yeah,
Because it's
I'm,
very
I'm,
interesting
I
that
love
you
that
guys
building.
built over the area that I was showing, like in the old maps. And I was like, no, it's over in this corner. And when you guys showed where it was, that something had been built
yeah.
over where we think that thing is. Like,
So which state is this in?
Ohio.
Ohio,
Ohio.
Oh, well, I'm
really
supposed to
far
be
away.
going up north soon. I'm hoping to do some stuff with sirens, so I may just jump over.
While you're in the neighborhood.
Yeah. Oh my! I did. Well, I did like 15 states in 3 weeks road trip.
Jeez,
I get in the car and I can drive.
that's a lot.
That's a lot.
I
I almost did
I feel
coast
like
to
winded when
coast.
I go to the Walmart down the street.
Funny story though, on this trip, we started in Texas, drove to Arizona, and went to the Grand Canyon. And we were like, hey, we could go to California, but there's really nothing there right now. We're, going over there for. So why don't we head back? And then we ended up at like the Atlantic. And I was like, we were one state from doing coast to coast.
That's
So
crazy.
close.
well, it's what it really bothers me because anyone who doesn't live in Texas can sit there and be like, "Oh, I'm going to investigate in this state this weekend," and it'd be completely fine because it's just like a 5-6 hour drive. But you try and
Right.
get anywhere else in Texas from Texas, you're like, or in another city in Texas, you drive 16 hours, and you're like, "Oh, I'm just investigating another Texas location." Like,
Unless you're going to Oklahoma.
yeah, because
Yeah.
okay, so it only takes me 2.5 hours to actually get to my asylum.
Yeah.
Only 20 minutes of that drive is Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Wow.
The other 2 hours and 10 minutes is all Texas. Only 20 minutes of my drive is Oklahoma. It
And
drives
the
me
funny part
nuts.
of it is there's a stretch of Texas that's all woods, deep woods, on both sides of this road, and your internet on your phone dies,
You're
and your
literally stuck out in the
network
middle of absolutely
dies.
effing nowhere with
Like,
nothing.
Nope.
And I
you are
can't tell you,
completely on your own.
they have cows, sometimes. Like I always drive back at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Like I wait until they're done and then I go home. That way I'm home before Oliver wakes up. And I cannot tell you how many times I've stopped and 911 still works no matter where you are. Like, that is the only thing you can use your phone for is 911 service. Cannot tell you how many times I've dialed 911 in the middle of Addiloo, right after you get out of Oklahoma to it's like the Texas Oklahoma border, where there's nothing but farmland. There are cows in the middle of the road at like 4 or 5 o'clock at night. You can't see shit, and you're getting closer and closer, and you're like, oh man, I know I'm tired, but that looks like a fucking cow in the middle of the road. And it's a fucking cow in the middle of the road. So I stop,
Or
call
you
the
get the
cops, and be like,
armadillo.
or the deer in that area. It's bad, and that's so dangerous. So I always go like 30 under the speed limit when I'm driving home at night. I get home a little slower, but I get home safer because
Right.
I'm watching
Yeah.
for the deer eyes,
Because
like flashing its
nobody
spots.
thought it'd be a good idea in this dark stretch to put a light
But a
up.
light, there's no lights. When we tell you there's
That's out of a
no
horror movie.
street
Right.
lights, there's nothing.
Yeah,
There's not, like, if you got into
it
an
is
accident,
black.
good luck on you. You can't see jack. Donkey shit. Horrible.
That's bad.
Horrible. Okay, I know you said that Skinwalker Ranch was one of your bucket list places, right? What about you two? Do you have any interest in going to Skinwalker Ranch?
I keep calling it Skywalker Ranch.
I'd go to Skywalker Ranch before I go to Skinwalker
That's
Ranch.
whenever it comes up. That's what my brain sees as Skywalker Ranch.
That would be totally cool to see Lucasfilms do a lightsaber fight on that ranch.
With some
As a matter of
Skinwalker.
fact, being on these shows just the last couple months is the first time I ever heard of that place.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I'd have to do
Really?
more research before I went, but I wouldn't say no.
My thing is, first of all, you don't fuck with native stuff. Like Native
Right.
American
No.
energy is a completely different ball game, and people
Mhm.
seldomly take that into account. That hello, most of this is Native American burial ground. Let's just get that straight. Like,
Right.
all of
Yeah.
this shit is native. So like, when people are like, well, why are there so many places that are haunted in the U.S.? And I'm like, well, let's
Yeah.
see. What did we do? Just you don't
Pick
watch
a
Poltergeist? Shut up.
year.
Like, rah.
It's like
And-
pick a year. We can pretty much
Right.
tell you
They
something
could
horrible
even-
happened.
even today, like to date, we could still sit there and place that. But like, so it's not just what skinwalkers can do, it's what they've done to this area. Like, apparently the people who own it are just in it for them. You know what I'm saying? When you exploit something,
Right.
especially of in a spiritual nature, like if you exploit something in that sense, to me you're just like, it's gross. Like, I'm not ever going to sit there and pay you money to go and help be a part of that exploitation in this, because they don't do it the right way. Like, they have some of the craziest ass like crackheads, meth heads, like people who are just shit faced out of their minds on drugs, going out there and doing investigations and then putting it up on their YouTube channel.
Oh my
And it's like,
God.
because we have evidence. And I'm like, they could be sitting at a Taco Bell and think that there's evidence. Like,
Right.
stop. And
They probably are at Taco Bell and think they're on the
focus.
ranch.
Right.
Right. They focus on so much of the negative of it, and nobody actually like pays attention to the Native American lore and the Native American aspect of it, which is insane because it's exactly what the
Mhm.
fucking skinwalkers are. They ignore it like completely. It's just like, it's a monster, it's a beast, but we can do
Well,
what we
actually,
want and interact with it however we want. But it's like,
the
if
current
you
owner
knew what this
is
thing could actually do, you wouldn't be
Right.
just sending people willy nilly in there like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I kind of think the current owner though is aware of it, and he is trying to
Did someone new buy
respect
it?
it. Yeah.
When?
I don't know when he bought it, but the current owners, he's like on the show because History Channel's doing a thing on it,
Oh yeah.
and he's always like, "We're not digging." It was like a whole 2 seasons of no digging, 2 years of no digging, with the guy from Ancient Aliens constantly saying, "We got to dig," and he's like, "No."
That's how you get the motherfucking poltergeist. Like, that's how you get the ghostesses. Just leave shit alone. Just stop.
So they
Drives me
finally
nuts.
this year started digging a little bit in
Well-
specific areas, not in areas where they were warned about, until they prior owner said, "Don't dig here." So they lit the rock up, and they're like, "There's this weird mark on the rock. Well, let's dig and see what's here." The ancient aliens guy says, and so they're like, "Okay." It's like, God, they really got to get him
Crazy
off the
dude with the
show.
hair.
Not Tsoukalos.
Okay, I was about to say,
The
if you're listening to advice from
astrophysicist.
that man, you need to run. Like, once you start listening to anything that dude says, like, if he tells you to dig, you run the other way because he's finna dig up
Right.
some Cthulhu type shit.
No,
He's
they
gonna get
picked
you
the
in trouble.
astrophysicist.
Neil
Oh.
deGrasse Tyson?
No, the other one.
Bill Nye.
It's like, and then there's like one time he looks down at the cistern. He's like, "I got a couple radiation burns. Next week we're going back there because I want to see what happened." I'm like, "Are you just freaking nuts?"
Maybe it's
It's
just
like-
for the ratings.
I swear to God, he's who I would call in the paranormal community an instigator. It's like he just wants to poke the bear and doesn't care what happens. He's like, "Let's poke it, and then poke it some more."
Whoa.
Well, you really offended her.
Yeah, apparently, man. She must
Man,
be a fan
you're-
of him.
She's like, screw these guys, I'm out.
She's like, "Come August, I'm totally bailing on him again."
All right, well, I'll keep it going, So,
Yeah,
my bucket,
I don't know. I don't
my
think I could
bucket-
go there.
I think my
Wait a minute.
bucket place would be the White House. I've said
Oh,
a
that
couple
would be
times.
awesome.
Yeah,
Right. You know it
Someplace
has
I
to
know-
be haunted.
someplace you're not going to get to, but someplace that you'd really want to.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you could be
Well,
president
even
someday.
if you could get in there, you're not going to get full access.
Right.
Right.
They're like, "You can do this wing."
Yeah. Which,
And it's
I feel like
actually
all of
in Virginia. You can do this wing
Yeah.
over here.
Yeah. We'll be like, we'll make a mock of it over here, drug you, and then you'll wake up thinking you're actually there. Secret Service will drop you off. You got nothing to worry about.
it's fine. It's fine.
Could you imagine, though, being the investigator that has the guts to walk up to the White House and say, "I'd like to talk to the Secret Service about bringing a team here to investigate on it."
Somebody's like, "I took pictures on a tour and I got a lot of orbs, so I think I want to investigate." I could see it.
Well, it doesn't hurt to
Somebody
ask.
told me that.
I bet people have asked.
It's like, somebody told me there's a ghost that messes with you when you sleep in the Lincoln bedroom. Is that true? I want to find out.
Right? It would be pretty cool.
It would be.
It's gotta
What'd be funny though is if the Secret Service like, "Yeah," and then sit there and go, "Man, let's just play with all this high-tech stuff we got in here, just dick around with them and watch them
Right.
running around and go, 'Oh my God, it's haunted.'"
They probably could shoot out electromagnetic burst or something. You're like, your
Oh, I'm
equipment's
sure.
going nuts, and you're like,
Yeah.
be. Right. Or they
They'll
got
be
all those
like-
secret cameras. They could turn on
And they're just
sound
like-
on them.
Or watch and be like, "Hey, look, they got those K2s. Let's go click our radios around."
Right?
And watch them run around and go, "Oh my God, there's electromagnetic field here."
That would be fun. For the Secret Service and the investigators.
yeah,
yeah.
there you go. It's a win-win.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I'll email them tomorrow,
All
Heisenberg.
right,
so
you hear
we
that,
can go.
Washington?
They heard it, trust me.
I'm on some
They hear
watch list now.
I've probably been on it.
Yeah, that's true.
Man, I swear I was on one because I went on 5 flights in a row and had to get patted down. And I was like, I finally said to him, "Do I really look like a terrorist to you?" And they were
Right.
like, "Why would you say that?" I'm like, "This is the 5th time in a row to be randomly checked." They
Yeah,
were
that's
like,
crazy.
"Huh." And then it stopped after I called them out on it.
I mean, there's people
They're
that go,
probably messing with you, man. They're probably like, all right, this guy's going to get off the plane at this time.
yeah, you're like flagged, like to search.
They're like,
Because there's people that go their
"No."
whole lives without getting searched 5 times. And you got searched 5 times in a row?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I'd even be searched on a flight out and the flight back.
Wow.
This is how random it was.
Yeah, you're definitely on the list. I just
Yeah.
don't know which one.
It's because of all those initials after your name, man.
Right.
They don't know what it stands for.
Actually,
They're like,
that came later. I'm like, I just figured I'm gonna out myself on these teams. I'm already on a list. What difference does it make?
Oh,
They're probably
God.
looking at that going, man, this guy's super credentialed. We really need to start patting him down.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I felt very inadequate looking at all those letters on there.
We
cool.
knew a guy who was a friend of ours before he passed away, and he put on the end of his name the credentials DMS. It stands for don't mean shit.
Oh my God. Stop.
Because we always thought people with credentials, it doesn't mean anything. So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna put don't mean shit on as my
Oh
credentials.
God. That's awesome.
there's a dental service manager that's really upset that it doesn't mean shit.
I had a friend who made business cards that just said free lunch winner, and it had his name and phone number on it, because all those places do the thing where it's like drop your business card to win free lunch. So his title was just free lunch winner, and he made them just for
Denise?
I love the face.
Yeah, it's a good face. There she is.
You froze at the right moment. Your face is like,
Yeah, that's a normal face.
That's usually my regular face.
Right.
boy, now I'm starting to really get worried what happened to Ashley.
It looks like she messaged us.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, but my internet's
Dude,
not working
I
on
don't even know
mine.
how you see them.
It
I
just
don't know, I'll
popped
see
up
if I
How
real
can
you
quick.
see?
Oh, she didn't say
Okay, I
anything.
can-
She just made a group and called it bruh.
Bro. That's another good face, Denise. This is great.
Yeah, especially with the hand right next to it.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I don't think she can get back on.
All right, so
It's
what's
her
your
show.
bucket list spot, Denise?
Yeah, what's your bucket list, Denise?
I mean, besides Hinsdale again, even though I think that's unconventional to put a thing on there twice, but I would say probably Trans-Allegheny.
Oh, good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I really want to go for the history on that one too, just because, like at Madison, we don't have any records of the patients. We don't have anything, but Trans-Allegheny has so much stuff and they have so much of their history still intact. And I really do want to see that part of it too. But, the haunting is very intense, I've heard. So that part would be cool too. But they still have artwork that, the patients did in their art therapy classes, and they have so much stuff. I think it'd be cool even to go during the day just to check it out. But
It is a great place. Like the building's beautiful. Like on the outside. Now the inside looks like, except there's a nice staircase there. It looks really. It's a great place.
Yeah.
The one I'd like to get to is, I forget which one it was, but Destination Fear went there, and it was like up on a hill and just trees surrounding it. There was like no civilization for like a good.
Was it Sweet Springs Sanitarium?
Might have been.
Yeah, that's another one on my list. Was it West Virginia? Do you know?
Might have been. It was like in the first season, I think. They were like driving up and they're like, hey, look at all the trees. Oh my God, this place is located. Who would escape? There's like nowhere to go.
That's probably what it is then, probably.
Yeah, Sweet Springs is
Sweet
like
Springs.
that place that Ashley was describing in Texas. Like there's no reception, there's no, there's nobody around except for wildlife.
Yeah.
It definitely, it was one of their more intense episodes as well. So it might be
Yeah.
that one.
My favorite episode though of theirs, and I give them a lot of kudos for this, is they went in and said, "Hey, can you make a sound that you're here?" And they made a bang. And they all ran out, and they come back in and they go, "We're sorry we ran. We know we asked you to make a sound and bailed on you. We promise we won't do that again."
Right?
I was like, "Thank you for admitting you guys were so stupid."
It's hard
Run
not
out.
to, though.
Yeah.
But it kind of shows the genuineness of that one. They took
Right.
off.
Yeah. That's why I like that show is there's no motives to it. It's just a bunch of friends getting scared in haunted places. Like that's all they're meant to do. And that's what they do every single week. They're fantastic.
So what's one
They're
of yours,
very nice.
Eisenberg?
Hmm?
I was like, what's one of yours favorite show moments? If you watch one.
Yeah, I do. And I always bring it back. The Madison episode when she was in the laundry room and that shadow went across the window.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Because I've walked that back part, and I know Denise has, but prior to when Adam took it over, and right when he did take it over, there was no light back there. So like I would do that was my spot where I would do the walk, the guard kind of the walking around there, and I was walking down there and I heard and I like shit. That means I gotta go turn around and see what it is. And there was nothing there.
Or you could have just run.
Huh?
Or you could have just run.
No, I was like, I got a job to do.
I'm so glad I wasn't around for those days.
Oh yeah, it was pitch black back there.
Oh, geez.
But yeah, that's one of my favorite. That when that shadow went across, because I could totally believe it, because that back drive is the whole place is haunted, but that back drive definitely has some weird stuff going on behind it.
I've seen things walking exactly in the same way that they caught on video that night. That was pretty intense.
So what about you, Denise?
What's that?
Same
What's
question.
my favorite? I mean, obviously, I'm very partial to the Madison episode just because, I work there. But it
No
was
bias
nice.
there.
Right. No, not at all. But it was nice because when we had our premiere for that show, we did a premiere party at the hotel, and everybody watched it together. And then when the episode was over, the entire cast from Destination Fear actually did a Skype call with us. And we got to ask them questions, and they got to tell us extra stuff that happened that didn't make the episode. It was really cool to be part of that. Yeah. Sorry, I'm checking on something for Wolliver. What's your favorite, Jennifer? Sorry.
Mine?
Yep.
Yeah.
The one I watch the most right now would be. Well, I watch Destination Fear a lot, but Expedition X, when it's on, I like watching it just to see the locations. I don't actually give either one of them a lot of credibility, but it's fun to watch and be like, yeah, I can get some information to run on to see, is this place really worth checking out? Right.
I mean, a lot of those shows, that's why I like to watch it. It's just for, the history parts and, I love B-roll. It's my favorite thing. I love any episode of any show. I love the B-roll where they just show the buildings. And,
I do like the B-roll.
Yeah.
Right? It's my favorite. I will totally judge an episode based on the B-roll that they have, because that can make or break an episode.
Oh yeah. I will say celebrity that I met in the paranormal field that surprised me the most would be Daryl Marston, Mustafa Galatori, and Kristen Luman from the new Ghost Hunters. They
Yeah,
are such a hoot to investigate with. I learned so much with them just in like one night.
yeah. I
I don't think
I
I haven't
was
met anybody really famous. I don't think like in person, except Adam's the most famous person I've met in person.
yeah. I did
I mean,
meet all of them, but I was very
Oh,
surprised. Not surprised, I guess, by Nick Groff.
uh,
He is fantastic and so funny and so just wonderful.
that's
But
cool. Yeah. So don't mean to interrupt, but Ashley just messaged, y'all keep going. Our whole building is out.
um well, Wolliver just texted me and asked me if I can end the broadcast from where I'm at, which it's only 10 minutes short, so we can just
I
sign
don't
off.
know
Wolliver, if
how.
you're watching.
What do we do?
How
Just
that
leave the
went so
studio?
fast.
Yeah,
I
that's
yeah, I
crazy.
we have another show on RU Media Network, so I have access to the whatever it's called, to the studio, so I can actually end it from my computer. So
yeah, they don't give me that access.
Oh,
we have,
so
you
Oh yeah,
just
they have. I just
don't
can't
log
figure out how
in.
to use it.
But yeah,
Ashley
It's on
says,
my
I
old
love
phone.
you
I don't know what to
guys.
do.
Thank you so much for coming on.
we love you, Ashley. Thanks for letting us take over your show.
Yeah.
This is
And
what
thank
Everybody,
you, Ashley, for letting me interview you. That
she's
was my
fantastic.
first
Yeah,
online interview, yeah. I've done
nice.
it on location, asking a couple questions, but I've never interviewed for an hour online before. So I was like, I better write some questions fast.
It's she's a good. Oh,
Oop.
What'd
I
you
think I
do?
just I just added myself in again. Oh, that's Wolliver.
Oh,
I'm
Oh,
like
we're in trouble.
GW in the house now, and they muted
what's he doing
themselves.
here?
All right. Well, I will end the broadcast since Wolliver is trying to do it now.
Was he just gonna cut us off?
Yeah, it was.
Apparently.
He's not even going to show his face.
Be like, this is welcome to real paranormal interviewing. It'll just disappear.
All right. All
Did you
right,
find it
guys.
hard to interview?
No. I
That's
was
good.
like, I had questions in mind, and as I was asking her something, she would answer like two of the questions I had coming up, and I was like, oh, but that led me into this direction, and so it was like really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's very easy to interview. She has so many interesting stories. Like
Oh yeah,
you could ask her, like you said, one question and it'll just lead into all of these amazing stories. And
yeah.
it's
We
good.
started out on Broken Bow, and we ended up talking UFOs, and then to video games.
Yep, that's how it goes. That's why we love her.
But okay, last
All right,
question.
guys.
Interesting thought was paranormal world. Is it just ghosts, or do you count the cryptids and the UFOs and all that other stuff?
Well, I think paranormal means not normal, so I would
Just
put all
go.
that stuff together.
Because I know so many people. I'm like, well, you're a paranormal team, yeah. So what do you investigate? Just ghosts. I'm like, what about all the other stuff? No, I do just the paranormal. I'm like,
I went on
okay.
a Bigfoot walk and UFO walk, but it was in Kent, so it wasn't really
Oh.
wasn't really gonna see anything. I don't think.
That's funny.
All right, well, I got nothing left.
All right.
Anybody else?
Nope.
Last minute.
I'm gonna cut you guys off anyways. So tune in next week to Storming the Unknown. And also,
Where Ashley may or may not be back.
right. And Thursday nights, the
From
Cryptic
8 to 10.
Paranormal Show from 8 to 10, also on RE Media Network. Oh, Michael,
Sweet.
do you have anything you want to plug before we go?
I actually don't have a channel. I just have a YouTube channel, but I don't actually have a broadcasting channel.
Well, what's your YouTube channel?
That's a really good question. I'll have to look that up. I don't use it that often. It's like
If people were searching for you on YouTube, what would they search?
it's under my name, Michael Koff, but I think I spell it differently. So people, it's like
Like, how do you
I could
spell that
have more
differently?
fun. I spelled it Gaelic. There's a funny story
Oh.
behind that too. Uh, so it's Michael Micheal Koff. Or actually, wait, no, I just was looking at it. It's Michael. My email is what's spelled differently. Funny story about that is, real quick, is my mom wanted to call me Michael, and my dad wanted me named after him. So I got the middle name Michael, and I would always tell her my name is spelled E-A-L, and she'd say, no, it's A-E-L. Come to find out, in Gaelic, Michael is E-A-L. So I was, as a kid, trying to spell my name in a foreign language.
Nice. Yeah. All right. Well, you guys will have to just search for Michael on YouTube.
Michael Kopp.
Yep. I'll be posting this on YouTube on my channel when I get a chance to upload it.
Okay.
So,
and you can find it.
Yeah, you'll find me.
Heisenberg, we have our event August 7th.
Yes.
If anybody wants to get tickets for that, there's still a couple available.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm super excited about it.
Yeah.
Pay no attention to the part where I said there's crawlers on the ceiling and the walls. You should definitely come out.
I don't think that's a negative thing to most ghost hunters, Denise.
That's
I know.
true.
Might
I
actually
think
bring
you
in some more
probably
tickets.
you probably
If you
upped your
wanna-
sales with the
Yeah,
guarantee
if you
of
want
a
to see
crawler.
Heisenberg and I run out of there like little bitches, just come on out. It's going to be fun, and it's for a great cause. So you can check out our page for that, the Cryptic Paranormal Show. And it was very fun chatting with everybody. Sorry, Ashley, that we took over your show and you're not here anymore.
That's what we
Another
do, Ashley.
redo.
It's nice meeting
Because
you guys.
last time I was on Ashley's show, my internet got messed up and I didn't get to be on the show with her. So there's something trying to keep the two of us off of a show together. So next time we'll do it again.
I totally will not dispute that, because I've had times where everything will be working fine and then it's like, nope.
Yep. Lord knows I could study on my laptop, but as soon as I try to go on Ashley's show, then it cuts out and doesn't work. But all right. Have a good night.
All right, everybody. Have a good
night,
night,
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.